Hello, my name is Joe Richard, and I was a student at Greg Brown's. I lived in Iowa in the early 80s, and me and my lady were driving through Iowa City listening to the Prairie Home Companion, as so many Midwesterners do ritualistically on Saturday afternoon, and Greg had just played a tune, and Garrison Keillor announced him as that's Iowa City's own Greg Brown, and I said to my lady that I was gonna learn how to play some of those songs from him, and she just laughed. But the next time we went to town, I learned where he lived, went by his house, and asked him if he'd give me some lessons, and he said, of course he would. You know, he's very generous with his music and his time. So after that, I'd stop by once a month or once every other month, and we'd sit around and smoke cigarettes and listen to Mississippi John Hurt, Reverend Gary Davis, Sleepy John Estes, and the rest of the fellows, and some women too. And any of these artists that were kind of instrumental in the development of American fingerstyle picking. And so when I met Greg, he was working for the Iowa Arts Council at the time, going from county to county, writing songs in classrooms with the kids. And sometimes he'd write 3 to 5 songs a day. And after you spend any time with Greg, you're not surprised. The only word I could think of is sick. He's kind of sick, prolific. He extraordinary doesn't really do it justice. He could write a song in 5-10 minutes, and then put it in a Latino genre or bluesy, jazzy, just standard folksy kinds of things. It's extraordinary to watch how prolific he is, and the sheer number of CDs that he's recorded don't reflect how prolific he is. I'm sure he's written twice as many songs than what's on his CDs. The interesting thing also was I used to go see him play at a place called the Mill in Iowa City, and I think the other place might have been called the Sanctuary. And it was the same way when he played a set. One set would be bluesy, the next set would be folksy, and it didn't seem like he was capable of playing the same song the same way more than one time. Again, very creative, even after the song was written. At first, I would go by Greg's to learn how to play these various genres and some of his songs too. I loved his music, and actually still do. But later on, I'd go by hoping some of that magic genius, prolific dust would fall off of him and maybe land in my guitar case. But nevertheless, ultimately, he was a great teacher, wonderful mentor and artist, but even a nicer guy and a great friend of mine during that time period. Something else I wanted to mention, now if someone wants a CD, we go to Amazon or CD Now, whatever, and click on it. It's at the house in a couple of days. Well, back in the early 80s, we didn't have CDs. We had vinyl albums, and that's how Greg sold his music. And every time I went by Greg's house, I would grab 2 boxes of the Iowa Waltz and a box of 44 and 66 and go back to Ottumwa. I was working in the schools at the time, and a lot of teachers and principals were very familiar with Greg, but they couldn't get his music. We lived down in Tumwa, which is probably about, I think, 90 miles from Iowa City, and you couldn't get his music in the record store in Tumwa. You could order it special, and you could get it that way, but it would take you a while. So people knew that I could get some Greg Brown albums when I went into the schools. People were like, "You got some of that Greg Brown? How about some of that Greg Brown? You got it? I want 5." You know, and he was so revered and truly loved by the people in Iowa, who were so proud of their native son. They all wanted to have albums that they could give someone that they loved for Christmas or for their birthday or something like that. It was really remarkable how much they loved his native son and their native son, and actually it continues today as I go around anywhere. I live in West Virginia now, and I shared some of Greg's music with a friend, and he said the only way you could describe his music was that each one of his songs were a gift, which is really an extraordinary but realistic way to characterize what he creates with his music. But again, he was very, very well loved in Iowa and all throughout the Midwest. But since we're talking about Iowa, we're going to start off with the first song, the Iowa Waltz. And it's a waltz, of course. So it's just 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So this song is in D, and it has an introduction, but the introduction is just the guitar to the A verse, or the first verse, and the chorus. So I'll go ahead and teach you how to play the A verse and the chorus, and you'll be able to play the intro, and then sing a verse and sing the chorus. So it's in D, and I'm just going to go ahead and play the first verse. So we start out with a D chord here. We just move down a fret. And this is just, it's the 2nd fret, 1st string, 3rd fret, 1st string, and 5th fret, 1st string. This is some kind of E minor 7th. It's just the 2nd fret on the 5th string and 3rd fret on the 2nd string. And always throw the 3rd in there. It's just nice harmonically. So we've got home in the midst of the calm. And then the next part is go back to D. Middle of the USA. Middle of the USA. So that's the D note we're exaggerating. And then it's open on the 1st, and then 2nd fret on the 1st. And we do this nice little A7th here. And it's an A7th with a F note, but it's just the 1st string, 1st fret, so it goes from open to 1st string, 1st fret on that A7th. So this is what we have. Home in the midst of the calm, middle of the USA. We go back to the D here. We do this again. then we're going to do this. So it's a D, A 7th, A minor 7th on the 3rd fret, and then the A 7th on the 5th fret. So it's A 7th, then it's 2nd string 3rd fret, and the 4th string 4th fret, and then 4th string 2nd fret, 5th fret, and the 2nd string 5th fret. And you play that with the 5th string. And so all the way. So here we go. Home in the midst of the cold, with all of the USA. Here's where I was born, is where I'm going to stay. So we got that. We're through the first verse, or the verse section of the song. So the next thing that we do, we're gonna play a G chord. We want to keep these two fingers, our ring finger and our pinky finger, close to the 1st and 2nd string. But it's going to be a G chord, so we're going to hit simultaneously the 6th string 3rd fret and the 2nd string open. And then right after that, I'm going to put my, we're going to fret the 3rd fret of the 2nd string, so it's, and the next thing that we're going to do is play the 4th string open and the first string 3rd fret right here. So we've got, and then we go on up to D here. And that's just the D chord, and playing the 3rd, 2nd, and then the 1st string. So here we go. All right, so now this is just the 5th fret 1st string and the 7th fret 2nd string, and we'd walk that down. So it's, okay, and this next part is the toughest part of the tune, and it's back to this E minor 7th chord, and we play that the 5th string 2nd fret and the 2nd string 2nd fret simultaneous, and we throw that G in there. It's nice harmonically again. The 3rd string. And we go. So it's simultaneously the 5th and the 2nd string, and then the rest is on its own for a minute. So on the 2nd string we go 3, 2, open, 2, 3, A minor. 3, 2, open, 2, 3, A 7th, and then throw that F in there. And then we close it out with so I'll sing it and play it slow, the chorus. Winter, spring, summer, or fall, come and see, come down. dance with me to the, and that's just walking down 3, 2, open, and then we go back to the D, beautiful, then we do this part again with the A7th in minor 7th on the 3rd fret, A7th moved up to the 5th fret, and close up off with a D. So I'll go ahead and play the first verse and the chorus, and then I'll sing it for you. Of the corn, middle of the USA, is where I was born. Is where I'm going to stay. I walk, winter, spring, summer, and fall. Come and see. Come dance with me to the beautiful Iowa Waltz. Come and see. Come dance with me to the beautiful Iowa Waltz. Okay, so just add the other verse singing, and that's the Iowa Waltz. Like I said, I'm going to put a few more tunes on here. And there's a place for you to make suggestions or whatever, comments, and if you have any questions or anything like that, just put them down below where the tune is on YouTube.